I've had some questions on how to use zyBooks to do these functions. So I'm going to go through two examples. This is in section 3.3.2 and 3.3.3. Let's first look at this one. It's asking us to create a function that doubles the initial value. So you first need to have the word function to tell MATLAB that you're defining a function. This is the output value of the function. This is the name of the function, and these are the inputs. In this case, there's only one. So I find it a little confusing that they say final value equals 0, like that's supposed to be our starting point, but it's really not. What we're supposed to do is take the initial value and double it. So I'm going to, you know what? I always make mistakes on typing these variables. So instead of me trying to type initial value, I usually go over here and I hit Control C on my keyboard, and then I hit Control V to paste. So in this case, the final value, that is the output of the function, equals the initial value. Well, that's not what I want. I really want this to be 2 times the initial value. So I'm going to do 2 times the initial value. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the function. Notice down here it says code to call your function. So it's going to call double down with an input of 5. Before I run this, I think of what the value should be. Well, if you double 5, it should be equal to 10. So I'm going to run the function, and the output is indeed 10. Let's change this to, I don't know, let's make it 2.5. Let's see if it even works with a decimal. It does. 2.5 times 2 is 5. I'm going to be tricky. Let's make it be 0. Still works. How about a negative number? Yes, it still works. Now that I'm confident that my code works, I'm going to go ahead and use submit. What submit is going to do is these 2 specific tests. It's going to test to see if double down of 5 equals 10 and double down of 120 returns 240. And when I hit the submit, it thinks a while, and then it says, yes, in fact, it works. All right, so that one wasn't too bad. Let's go down to the next example. In this case, we have to build this from scratch. I'm going to start with the word function because that's what I had to do. You notice when I type the word function, it turns blue. That means MATLAB recognizes it. My output value is going to be pyramid volume. And I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste that right there. And, you know, if I forget how the setup is, I'm going to scroll back up here and say, oh, that's right. I have the word function, I have the output value, and that's going to equal, then I'm going to use my function name, parentheses, any input variables. So output value equals function name, which will be calculate pyramid volume. And now I have 3 inputs. I have a base length, comma, a base width, and finally pyramid height, and parentheses. Before I get into the meat of the function, I remember that I need to tell MATLAB when my function's over, and I'm going to have to type in the word end. So before I start getting carried away with how to do this, I'm going to have my function definition and then the word end. Now in between is where I'm going to do my work. So, well, how do you calculate the pyramid volume? Well, the problem gives that to me. It's the base length times the base width times the pyramid height divided by 3 or times 1/3. So I want my pyramid volume. And notice I really do cut and paste each time because it's frustrating when your code doesn't work because you made a capital when something was supposed to be lowercase. So I'm going to multiply all these 3 together. And then I'm going to multiply it by the fraction 1/3. I'm even going to put it in parentheses because I like to be particular. I'm going to use a semicolon because I want the output to be suppressed. Inside a function, you generally don't want output. You want the output to be just the number or numbers that the function will return. So here's the test code. I think if I have 1, 1, 1, and I multiply that by 1/3, I should get a value of 0.33 repeated, and I do. Let's see what happens when I plug in a 0 for one of these. If I run this function now, the volume is 0 like I would expect. Let's make one of these 3. If I have this, I should get then a volume of exactly 1, and it would be cubed units, whatever my units are. So I'm confident that this is correct. So I'm going to go ahead and submit. It's going to test two different things, the 111, and then, oh gosh, decimals, which I didn't really worry about. But you know what? I feel pretty confident. I'm going to hit submit. And if it's wrong, I can go ahead and fix it. So I hit submit. And they are all correct. So this will hopefully help you set up functions for this section as well as other ones.